In the previous session of food, we discussed about variety of food, the food from plants, the food obtained from animals, that is different type of food obtained from different sources. In this session, we will discuss about different type of food consumed by different types of animals. So let's start with this session. So first of all, we should know that what do animals eat? As you know, students, different animals eat different things, as all animals are not the same. Just as all of us do not eat the same kind of food, animals too eat different types of food. So there are some animals that eat only one particular rich food source, while others do not eat the same kind of food or the same kind of rich food source, but they eat whatever they can find. So animals actually need to consume food like us, like human beings, in order to stay alive, right? So for them also, food is very much important. So we can say that some animals specialize in eating one particular type of food and some specialize in eating other kind of food. So animals have to eat their food in order to get energy, right, like us. And we can say that different animals have to eat their food in a different way, like every animal have a different type of eating habit or the feeding habit, right? So different animals eat different types of food, and an animal's mouth, teeth, and even body structure all help it to eat a certain type of food. So we can also come to know that what type of food an animal eats just by looking at its body and mouth. So based on this, we can say that different animals have different feeding habits, and based on their feeding habits only, animals can be divided into three groups. So the first one is herbivores, carnivores, and thirdly omnivores. So in this session we are going to study about two groups of animals which are based on their feeding habits, and that are herbivores and carnivores. So students, let's start with herbivores. Yes. First of all, we should be familiar with the term herbivores. The animals that feed only on plants and the plant products are called herbivores or herbivorous animals, right? For example, giraffe, sheep, rabbit, cow, horse, panda, bear, elephant, etc. Right, so these all are the examples of herbivores or the herbivorous animals that feed only on plants and plant products. Right, so we can say that a herbivore is an animal that gets its energy from eating plants, right, but not the flesh. Because herbivores also need a lot of energy to stay alive, right? And they eat all day long, so there should be a lot of plants in our ecosystem to support our herbivores. That means a lot of plants should be planted, a lot of plants should be present in our nature to support our herbivores, as they solely depend upon plants. So some herbivores eat only a part of a plant, right? Some herbivores will eat the whole plant and some herbivores will eat a part of a plant. So herbivores are usually smaller than carnivores, and they eat leaves, berries, roots, or even the bark of a tree, right? So these are some of the parts of the plant that they eat, right? So herbivores usually need to eat often during the day in order to have enough energy, right, like we eat. So animals like herbivores also need energy, and they need such type of food to stay alive. So let's have a look on some of the special characteristics of herbivores. Yes, so the special characteristics includes that herbivores have flat teeth. Flat teeth means they have such kind of teeth modified so as to chew a lot. Means the herbivorous animals which have flat teeth, and the animals or the herbivores which are having another kind of teeth will eat different kind of food, right? So herbivores that have flat teeth need to chew a lot in order to break down the plant materials into very small pieces, and it also helps herbivores to chew easier. So it is very much easy for the herbivorous animals if they have flat teeth, so that they can break down the plant materials, as plants are often very easy for herbivores to find, but they are sometimes low in the nutrients, so the animals need to grow and stay healthy, right? So that is why it is also said that seeds are a very good source for animals like herbivores, right? Because seeds are often packed with energy-rich nutrients, as we discussed that seed leaves or the cotyledons store food for the baby plant, right? So if it can provide so much of energy to the baby plant that it can germinate into a new plant, so you can think that how much energy it can give to the animals like herbivores, right? So seeds contain energy-rich nutrients like starch, but other parts of the plants like stems and leaves do not have much of the nutrients. They do not have many nutrients like seeds, right? So herbivores that rely on those plant parts must spend a lot of their time in grazing. So let's see some other characteristics of herbivores also, right? They spend a lot of their time grazing and browsing to get the nutrients which they need for carrying out various activities. So there are many herbivores which form an important link in the food chain, as they consume plants in order to receive the carbohydrates, just as we discussed, like starch, right? So starch is the main component of the carbohydrate. So if herbivores will eat the plant and plant parts, they will be able to receive carbohydrates which will give them energy. So due to herbivores' ability to survive solely on plant matter, they are termed as the primary consumers in the food cycle, because they consume from the plants, right? They consume the food in the form of plant or plant product. For example, herbivores like deer, elephant, horse, etc. have teeth that are adapted to grind vegetative tissue, right? That means a plant tissue. So animals like deer, elephant and horse are adapted, their teeth are adapted to grind the food. There are many animals that eat fruit and leaves, and sometimes they also eat other parts of the plants, for example roots and seeds. So usually such animals cannot chew, or they cannot digest such kind of food. So they grind. Their teeth are modified in such a way that they are adapted in such a way that they are able to grind their food and they are able to eat it. So animals that eat mostly grass are called as grazing animals, right? And the diets of some herbivorous animals change with the seasons. Right, in summer season they will eat something else, in winter season they will eat something else as per the food which they will get. So some seasons are hot and some seasons are cold. So different plants are available at different times of the year, and that is why the animals consume the food in that way with the change of the seasons, right? So there are many herbivores that have special digestive systems that let them digest all the kinds of plants, including grasses. There are also some herbivores like cow, horse and goat which have wide and blunt type of teeth, right? So herbivores have digestive systems to help them to get the most out of the plants, most of the plants they eat, right? So they have flat teeth also, and some herbivores have wide and blunt type of teeth. So this type of adaptation helps them to take in food or to consume in the plant and the plant products. So animals like sheep, moose and cows have a special stomach called a rumen, where microorganisms break down a substance. So such animals are called ruminants, and they swallow their food. And some herbivores, like we saw that cow, horse and goat have blunt teeth. So such teeth are suitable for pulling the plants off the ground and grinding them. And some herbivores such as cow and camel have the ability to bring back previously swallowed food to the mouth for a second chewing. They will chew the food first, and after that what will happen? They have such an ability that they will bring back the previously swallowed food, that is the first chewing, to the mouth, and the previously swallowed food now will be ready for the second chewing by such animals, right? By such herbivores like cow and camel. So this helps them to absorb most of the nutrients from hard plant parts or the plants, and they digest the foods in this way. So these are the special characteristics of herbivores which we saw. Now we will discuss about the second group of animals and their feeding habits, and they are carnivores. So let's study about carnivores. Yes. First of all, we'll see that what are carnivores animals, right? The animals that get the food from eating other animals or killing and then eating other animals are called carnivores or carnivorous animals. So what they generally eat? Carnivores generally eat herbivores and other animals also, right? How they eat their food? Carnivores have to hunt down and kill other animals to have their food. That is why they are called as predators, right? So we can say that carni means meat and vor means eater. So they are meat eater. Like herbivores, herbi means plant and vor means eater. So they are plant eater. So we can say that this is the main difference between the herbivores and carnivores, that herbivores are the plant eaters and carnivores are the meat eaters, right? So they have to hunt down and kill other animals, and that is why they are called as predators, right? So now let's see some of the characteristics, special characteristics of carnivores with which they can consume the food. Yes, so the special characteristics of carnivores are that carnivore diet mainly consists of meat. As we discussed, that carnivore itself means meat eater, right? So there are some carnivores such as lion and stork that kill their own prey and they eat, right? So such carnivores are called as hunters because they hunt their prey. Right? They will kill their own prey and then they will consume it. Other carnivores are there such as hyena. They do not kill the other animals, but they search for dead animals and eat them. Right? So there you can see the different feeding habits of carnivores. Right? So these type of carnivores which do not kill other animals but they search for the dead animals are called as scavengers. And one category of animals, of carnivores that kill their prey are called hunters, right? So we saw hunters and scavengers, right? So carnivores actually need other type, or carnivores are also adapted to such kind of environment, or they have adapted their teeth in such a way that they can consume food in the different form. Right, so let's see more characteristics of carnivores. Yes, carnivores need very sharp teeth and strong jaws to tear the meat from the bone of other animals. For example, lions, tigers, crocodiles, polar bears, wolves, etc. These all are examples of carnivores, right? So we can say that carnivore is an organism that derives its energy and nutrient requirements from a diet which is consisting mainly the animal tissue, right? As we saw that they tear the meat from the bone of the animals, that means their diet consists mainly of the animal tissue, right? So there are some spiders which are also carnivores, right? And there are some carnivores that also eat insects, which are termed as insectivores, right? So this is a different category. So as we studied about insectivores also, for example, Venus flytrap and picture plant, so they have such an adaptation of trapping the insects inside them, right? There are some other carnivores like spider. What do spider do? When a spider has caught its prey, it injects its poison into its prey, and this poison paralyzes the prey, and it makes the prey's flesh in a very liquid form, which the spider sucks up, right? So in this way, spider is also a kind of carnivore, right? Now, not all the carnivores have teeth to chew their food, right? For example, owl. So what an owl does? Yes, the owl either swallows an animal whole or it tears it down into chunks before swallowing, right? And even there are some other carnivores like vultures, which belong to a very special class of carnivores called scavengers, which we saw, right? Instead of hunting the live animals, scavengers like vultures eat animals that are already dead, right? And they also sometimes eat so much that they can't take off these animals to eat, right? So these are some of the examples. Even some carnivores have powerful jaws that help them to bring down large animals like deer, right? So what will they do? With their powerful jaws, they will the large animal like deer, and they will bring it down, and then they will eat it, right? Let's see some other characteristics of carnivores. Yes, there are some carnivores that have sharp claws which help them to catch prey, right? They will hunt for their prey, and they will be able to catch their prey with the help of their sharp claws. And even there are some carnivores that spend a lot of time hunting in the water, and then they eat it, right? So the bigger the carnivore, the more it has to eat. They have to eat many other animals over the course of the year, right? And that is why some of them hunt, some of them kill, some of them search for their prey, and some of them rely only on the dead animals, right? This is all just to require a large amount of calories from them, right? So we can say that carnivores are predators as they hunt and eat other animals, right? And even mammals that are carnivores have sharp teeth, and they are adapted for ripening the meat. They will ripe the meat totally, and then they will eat it, right? So we saw some of the carnivores that have sharp claws, right? Like There are other animals like seal, sea lion that spend a lot of time hunting in the water. Then there are meat-eating birds like hawks and owls that have keen eyesight that makes it easier for them to spot its prey and then they eat, right? As they have sharp talons to catch the prey and curved beaks to tear up the meat, right? So all of these adaptations help these carnivores, birds, to catch and eat their prey, right? So carnivores have to work hard for their food, and most prey animals have good defense systems to help them avoid predators, right? So most warm-blooded predators have to hunt very frequently, right? And there are also other predators like cold-blooded predators like snakes, which can go days or even months between meals, right? So they do not need so much of food, right? So without predators, populations of animals like mice and deer would grow too large, and sick animals might spread disease to other animals, and that is why they play a very important role in nature, right? By catching prey, carnivores help keep a balance in communities between producers and consumers. Producers means the green plants, and consumers means the animals that consume these plant and plant products like the herbivores. And the other consumers, the secondary consumers, are the carnivores that will consume food like herbivores or other carnivores, right? So teeth of carnivores such as lion and tiger are modified to tear flesh. The teeth at the front of the mouth, like canines, are very sharp and pointed in these type of animals like lion and tiger. So they will eat with the help of their canines. Even carnivorous birds such as eagle have curved pointed beaks that allow them to tear flesh, right? So that is also very helpful for them. And carnivores such as chameleon and frog have a long sticky tongue that they use to catch insects, right? So there are some carnivores like chameleon and frog which have a long and sticky tongue to catch insects. Even carnivorous fish are also there, such as shark, that have several small sharp teeth that help them to bite off the chunks of the meat of other animals, right? And some belong to the special class of carnivores called as scavengers, like we saw, as vulture, crow and jackal, right? So carnivores and herbivores play a very important role in the environment, right? Because of them only our environment is so balanced. If any one of the category of these animals is not present or they become endangered or extinct, then there will be imbalance in nature, right? There will be imbalance in environment. So we need to take care of all these animals, right? Alright, so we need to take care of the environment and the wild animals also, right? So I hope that you enjoyed this theory session and you came to know about balancing our environment in what way, right? So till then, keep enjoying and keep learning. We'll meet in the next session. Alright?